So, if you're wondering about range anxiety in a Tesla, yeah, there's range anxiety. Take a look here and you'll see I've got a big 12 kilometers left, and it says here I've got a big 18 kilometers left to home. And you think, well, idiot, you didn't charge up enough before you left. Serves you right. Well, that's just not quite right. I charged the car to almost full, to about 320 kilometers of charge in a little town called Fort McLeod, which is near Lethbridge, which is an actual city that for some strange reason doesn't have any decent chargers at all. And when I say any decent chargers, there's a grand total of one, and I mean a single charger that's 120 that works off of the, actually sorry, it is a 240 that's at the Holiday Inn. So if you want to go bang on the door, they'll turn it on for you. So that's great. Anyway, the point is, I charged up at Fort McLeod and drove from Fort McLeod to Lethbridge, and then from Lethbridge to Chestermere, Alberta, just outside of Calgary. And that entire trip is about 260 kilometers. I had 320 kilometers. So I should have had lots of juice. But yet again, the Tesla is letting me down. And you think, well, there's something wrong with your car. No, there's not. I've had it checked out several times. This is a 402 kilometer charge battery that's just slightly over 1 year old now, which means it charges, if you let it charge for several hours so it fills up completely, it will charge to 354 kilometers. And Tesla says that, yep, that's exactly correct. That's just what it should be doing. So dropping 50% of your charge in the first year is apparently 50 kilometers of charge apparently is just fine with Tesla. I think it's garbage, but that's what they say. Anyway, so you can see now I've got 15 kilometers left to go, and I've got 8 kilometers left. So what I've done is in a 110 kilometer zone, I'm driving 93. And I only know that that's a good thing to do because I watched a video on how much reserve is in this car and what it does when it starts running out. And one of the things it does is drop your speed way down from highway speeds to about 90, and then apparently when it gets really, really low, it drops it down to, I don't know, something like 20 kilometers per hour. So the 90 struck me as a pretty reasonable speed to try to get home with. And you can see I'm going to be on reserve. So even though I had lots of juice, at least in theory, yet again, this car has dropped the ball and let me down. And yeah, so it's a bit frustrating for me, but it's, I guess, just what it's going to be. That's how Teslas operate. They overpromise and they underdeliver. Now, when I say that, yes, they're wonderful cars. Yes, they do lots of cool things. They just don't do them all very well. So they're sort of like Microsoft Windows 3.1, which is the promise is there, the potential is there, and they'll do so much, but they just do so many things so badly, from the automatic high beams, which are, let's just leave it at poor, where they turn off late, to they turn on late as well. They turn off and on when they shouldn't, to the navigation, which is really not very good. And you think, well, it's Google Maps. No, it's not. It's using Google Maps, but it's not using Google Navigation. To the auto steer, which is still labeled beta for very good reason, which is, there's just so many issues with the auto steer. I'll be doing a separate video on that shortly. Through to the stereo, not showing you all of the text for radio stations. There's just so many things. So right now I'm a bit frustrated, so maybe I'm being a bit harder on it than I could be, but yeah, I'm really annoyed by this yet again. It's another overpromise, underdeliver feature from Tesla. The range is nowhere near what they say it is, and range anxiety, especially in the standard range battery like the one I've got, is a real concern. The only people that don't seem to understand that, because you watch the Tesla fanboys, they'll rave about how great these cars are. If you look at the history of what those people have driven, they're not luxury cars, typically, or they're not very technologically advanced cars. I'm used to driving the top model of vehicles, you know, the Citadels, the Titaniums, the Cadillacs of the world. And when I got into a Tesla, the promise was that this would crush all of those, and it certainly does not. You know, the road noise, which you can hear here, even at this slow speed, is quite notable. If I turn the meter on, you'd hear it's somewhere up in the mid-70s. When I drive my wife's Mazda, which we've done on the same road, just a little CX-5, you know, very commodity vehicle, it's in the mid-60s and for decibels. Anyway, that's enough of my rant. You can see I'm about to run out here. 2 kilometers of electric left and 7 kilometers of drive left. So I'm kind of in hell here. Let's see what this comes up with when I click on it. Yeah, really nothing useful. Let's click there. Okay, so let's just see if I can get home by driving this slowly. I should be able to, because I should be able to get through on the what's left for you know, emergency reserve in the battery. Apparently it's about 20 kilometers, about 12 or 13 miles. So yeah, let's see what happens here. Zero kilometers left. So we've now drained the battery completely, according to what the gauge says here. Let's see if it says anything on the... No, it doesn't say anything really useful. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm out in Alberta Prairie, so this land is flat. I was on adaptive cruise, you know, and it's, you know, for almost the entire way. This land is flat. I'm not driving in and out of traffic. I'm not driving at high speeds. I'm just driving. So let's see if I get this thing back on, get the speed down a little bit. There we go. And come on, self-drive, kick in. Thank you. There we go. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so that's an interesting little message. Charge immediately to ensure the vehicle will start and remain responsive. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. I've just parked it. So in summary, what I can say is that the vehicle yet again overpromised and underdelivered, in that I might have been a 250, 260 kilometer drive, and I had 320 kilometers from a Tesla charger, drove no faster than 108 kilometers an hour, which is 8 kilometers over the speed limit for the majority of it. I don't think I passed a single person, so I never had to put it down. Drove 60 in a lot of places, kilometers an hour, that is. And yeah, the vehicle just didn't do what it claimed it would do again. And that's a frustration. The range anxiety is real if you live outside of metropolitan areas, like I do, where there aren't a lot of chargers. So even in Calgary, there's a grand total of 1 supercharger, and it isn't in Calgary. It's actually about 5 minutes north of the city. So it's pointless for most people. They need to put more superchargers in. Now, as far as these small towns go, yeah, they just don't have them. And range anxiety is very, very real, but it shouldn't be. And it will dissipate as both batteries get larger in the future and as more chargers get put in. And those two things will happen together. So in a few years, this won't be an issue. But if you just want a car that's as easy to fill up and drive as gas, where it's carefree and easygoing, yeah, electric cars aren't for you. If you want to plan your trips and think about where you are, electric cars are wonderful. In most places, you can think it through and go, okay, well, I'm going to go here and there, and over there, 100 kilometers, there's another supercharger, so I'm good to go, and you'll be on your way. Unfortunately, like I said, for a lot of people, including me, that's just really not an option for a lot of the driving I do. It's just the way my life works. So this car just barely meets the criteria. As you've seen here, I was about, 8 kilometers over the 0 mark for this car. So you know there's only a few kilometers left in that reserve. I understood it to gain to be about 20 kilometers is what's left. I've watched a couple of people drive the cars to exhaustion and then, just have them pull over. That's just what they do. So, okay, that's it. If you have any questions or concerns, get a hold of us at www.partisanissues.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.